I went to get my hair done basically. I found a braider on Instagram, so I went to get my hair done, and first of all, my appointment was for 9 a.m. She called me in the morning and changed my appointment time to 10 a.m. So I got there on time, like 5 to 10, and I walked in and she was breastfeeding. So I was mentioning in my vlog channel that I found it extremely awkward. I basically turned into a turtle. I wanted to like put my head inside my shoulders. Like, I was just very uncomfortable. You know, I went to the corner of her apartment, faced the wall, and just waited till she was done.
Are you sure she faced the wall?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
So anyways, I got a lot of flack for even suggesting that I was uncomfortable at all. So that's why we're here today to discuss in this episode of Cocktails and Controversy. So we've got a couple of different viewpoints. I myself I'm not a mother, as you know. The rest of the ladies are. You have 4 children.
Yes, I do.
And did you breastfeed any of them?
No.
Thank God.
You have 3 children. You have 3 children. Did you breastfeed any of them?
I did.
And you have 1 child?
I do.
And did you breastfeed him?
I did.
Okay. So we have different viewpoints or different experiences. So yeah, chime in. What do you guys think? Like, was I in the wrong for saying that I feel awkward? Like, I don't understand.
No, I don't think you were in the wrong for feeling awkward. It just depends on how. There's nothing wrong with breastfeeding. However, you have that towel that they can put over the baby and over the breast.
But you don't have to know what's going on.
Yeah, but at least it's not out there. I've seen ladies they just take it out and push it and with no
right.
kids.
I've seen that too. To be honest, in this case, I walked in. She was already breastfeeding. She wasn't covered with a towel. She had her t-shirt lifted, so it's there was no attempt to cover.
Towel?
No, it was.
Well, then yeah, I think you have a right to be
I felt uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're entitled to feel uncomfortable. I mean, especially like, people might not have children, they might not be exposed to that type of thing.
Right.
So it's like, it kind of throws you off. But I mean, I personally think breastfeeding is amazing. I think if every mother should, if they are able to. There might be reasons why you can't, but
right.
Yeah, but she's not saying that.
No, but I'm saying it's a very natural thing. But again, like I said, you're entitled to feel.
You know what? I'm glad you actually said it's a natural thing, because I also got in trouble for saying that. So what I said was, I realize it's natural, but so is having sex and taking a dump.
Right, and people also have sex in public.
But you're not. Okay, you will get thrown in jail.
There are people that do it with audiences in public. So
well, this is true, but the reason why I got in trouble or got flack for saying that is because they were very offended that I would even compare those things, like breastfeeding and having sex. Like, why would, in my mind, I even think of comparing those 2 things? Now, in my mind, those are both functions of the adult human body. I don't see why you wouldn't compare those 2. Like people compare cats and dogs. They're 2 different species. I
guess it's because breastfeeding is natural. You need to do it to nourish your baby, whatnot. Sex is, although it is natural,
that's just an urge.
It's more pleasurable. It's
but
more
that's how the baby got here.
You would have needed to breastfeed,
right? But you don't.
One leads to another. I feel like it makes sense to compare the 2.
Well, I think they're right. It's not comparable.
Yeah,
really?
one's
I have
pleasure,
a question,
one's.
So when you went to this person to get your hair done, like what was the setup? Did she have like a shop?
So she was a home braider, so basically, her home was
so you're like in her living room?
Yes, she had a chair in the corner of her living room and a mirror, so it was part of the living room. It was just like if it was, let's say, in the corner here. It wasn't separated. It wasn't a separate living or office space or anything.
Well, I think it's bad in her as well, only because
she knew you were coming,
and you're not her friend or a relative who's used to that type of thing.
Yeah.
She should be a little bit more in tune with the fact that there's a stranger coming to my house.
Right.
I'm not sure how she might feel about that. So let me at least put a towel over what was going on at the time. I think if she was in the wrong for just putting that out in your face like that.
But I mean, on the other side, she was breastfeeding prior to you getting there. So it's not like she's going to stop what she's doing because, you walked in.
Yeah, but that's where appointment comes in. I'm sure you had an appointment.
And she already changed my appointment from 9 to 10. So I feel like
she knew you were coming, but at the same time, the baby is not. But the baby's not going to be like.
Yeah, but she could have said,
okay, let me stop.
Yeah.
Let me not cry and say I'm hungry because somebody's coming to get their hair done.
Yeah,
But maybe
that's-
see.
no, but
I'll
we're
agree
not-
with you there.
No, but she's not saying that she shouldn't be. We're not saying that she shouldn't be feeding her baby if she's hungry. That's not the point.
Mm-hmm.
The point is that she should be a little bit more prepared to have a towel or something to put over her breast.
I'll give you that. You can cover up so it's not
Right.
as, kind of in your face, especially if you know someone is going to be coming over. I mean,
Because not everyone is comfortable with that.
Yeah.
that's true, but you don't need to be comfortable with it.
What do you mean you don't?
Of course you do.
can, no.
Of course you do.
No, if I have a baby and I'm breastfeeding, which I've done before, I've breastfed in public before.
I'm sure you have.
That's right. I've breastfed in public before. And I'm not going to say, oh, is this going to make someone else feel uncomfortable
But you
by me
should.
breastfeeding? Why?
But you
Because
should.
not
Because I'm
everyone
not
wants
here,
to see
but I'm
your
not here for
things.
you.
That's not the point.
I'm here
But you're in
with
a
my
public
baby.
space.
Even though you're in somebody else's environment at that point. Like
That's
they're
what I'm
not
saying.
in your car or in your
Okay, so
bedroom
we're in
or-
a public place, right?
Yeah.
Just like you're entitled to do what you want in public, I'm entitled to do what I want in public, right? So if I'm with my baby in public and my baby is crying and he's hungry, I do not have any bottles, whatnot, what else am I supposed to do?
So-
I'm not gonna say, oh, let me just wait till I get home. Let me
don't wait.
try and find a quiet place.
Right.
It needs to happen. The baby's hungry, you have to feed your baby.
No, but it comes with preparation. Like if you know you're going out for the day,
You have
you
things-
pump, you have your bottle.
Okay, but let's say there's some people out there that can't afford a pump. Then what do you do? Pumps are expensive.
No, but
This is 2015 and everything's high tech and whatnot, and these pumps are expensive.
Okay, I'll
and not everybody
agree
can
that.
afford a pump.
okay, that's fine.
Is
But
it fair to say that she was ill prepared? Is that fair to say?
yeah, she was ill prepared.
I realize that things happen and babies are unpredictable and sometimes you have to run out
Totally.
and not have everything with you. But in that instance, do you think she was ill prepared?
She could have been. I mean, I'll say yes. She could have been a bit more prepared, maybe by having a blanket to cover, the baby and herself, so she's not, exposing herself. I will say yes. I'll give you
Okay.
that.
But also, it's not even about the prepared or not prepared or whatever. People shouldn't be attacking because of the way you feel. I mean, like, it goes back to like high school, like in gym class. I never changed in front of people. Like I went in the stall, even if I'm just changing my pants. It's like your level of comfort. So
Right.
you felt uncomfortable and you're allowed to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like people shouldn't be commenting and saying
I have to
whatever
agree with that
because
100%. And the fact that I feel uncomfortable I'm not going to say it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a mother, but I almost feel attacked for that reason. Like
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to voice my opinion
Yeah.
because I'm not a mother. But my opinion is just as valid as any
Of
other
course.
woman's, whether I have a child or not. You know?
exactly.
So
Yeah,
But
everybody has their own
everyone
opinion.
has their
They're
own-
entitled to their own opinion.
Exactly. Everyone has their own comfort level. And there's nothing wrong with her being uncomfortable in that situation.
I would have
no,
been
no,
totally uncomfortable when I
Because,
have children.
you know,
yeah.
Totally. I personally
You don't want to
couldn't
sit
do it.
across someone. I wouldn't want to sit across and have to you flip all that.
But then that's why you can turn away. You don't have to look and gawk at me breastfeeding. You know what's happening. So
but that's
Have
like-
you actually
no.
breastfed in front of strangers?
I have.
Of course she
And you were comfortable with that?
Of
Yes.
course she was.
Well then
Interesting.
that
I was comfortable with it because I'm not saying, hey, look at me while I'm breastfeeding my baby. I'm doing what I need to do.
But you know people are going to be looking at you.
That's
right?
your choice to look at me.
but you're imposing that upon them.
I'm not imposing
Yes,
you.
you
It's
are.
not like we're in a 4x4 cell where you're forced to look at me. You can look somewhere else.
But that's like when someone says, "Oh, I'm going to change my clothes now. Don't look." Your natural reaction is to look, right?
That's because
So
you
if
really want to look.
Not at your ting.
No, not really. It's just one of those things.
That's what I'm saying.
Your eye just automatically sort of go in the direction.
But then
that-
you can't blame the other person for you. Maybe it's a level of curiosity, but you can't blame the other person because they're breastfeeding and you naturally want to look over there. Okay, fine, look and then look away.
No, but you.
Well, yeah, definitely.
It's the same thing with
I mean,
it's the same thing with public displays of affection.
Which I'm
right?
also
You
not
see,
comfortable
you
with.
see,
Me neither.
right? I mean, and I'm not comfortable with that either. But I
But you'll
don't. I
whip out
don't
your
look.
ting-tings in
Yes,
public?
because I'm feeding my baby. You don't have to
have no
suck
problem
off
with-
your man's face or your girl's face in public. You're choosing to do that.
Okay, what about?
I have to feed my baby.
Let me give you throw a little boomerang in the situation because we're all females here, right? And I went to a braider, so I'm assuming she's gonna assume that I'm a female client. But what if
You're
I
a
wasn't?
dude.
What if I was a guy coming for cornrows? Would that have made any difference? Would you still feel comfortable breastfeeding in front of
Yes.
a male stranger?
Yeah.
Then you're a hot mess.
What about you?
But it's natural.
No, I would not feel comfortable with
You
with
have
that.
to listen.
No.
When you have a baby, and when you're in that moment, and your baby is bawling down the place and in hysterics because they're starving, you're not sitting there thinking, "Oh, there's a guy over here. There's this over here." You're thinking, I'm feeding my baby because my baby's uncomfortable and I need to.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, she knew she
Like I said, she could have been, could have had some options with a towel and covered up. But me personally, I'm still gonna breastfeed my baby regardless if there's a guy there, if there's a girl there. I can cover up. Yes, definitely. Try and make it a little bit more discreet.
Yes. Well, in this person case, that's a business, right? That's your place of work.
Right.
That's a professional
Just like
situation.
me sitting at my desk
Right.
with my child. Like,
Basically. So she knew she was coming. That's her job. This is a professional. It's not like even you who are in the mall and you have to babysit and you said, okay, you have to breastfeed.
Yeah.
And you said, okay, let me breastfeed. This is her job. This is a professional environment. So I think she should have been. Yes, yeah, exactly. She set the time for her. So I think she should have acted professionally under those circumstances.
I think so. I think a lot of people will probably disagree with you, and they will chime in the comment section that breastfeeding is not unprofessional. Like women should be able to do it in the workplace, but
not like that. I disagree. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just saying she should. You have a baby. You know what time your baby is going to be screeching that the baby needs to be fed. So
Not all the time, because not all babies are on a
not all the
schedule.
time, but you know that you're going to have to feed the baby at some point. She know that she was coming, so be a little bit more prepared. I mean, maybe she was close by. The baby decided to be hungry at that moment or whatever. Make sure you have your things prepared. So in case the client comes, be mindful of this type of thing. Okay, in case the client comes, let me be prepared so I could at least be able to cover myself, and she wouldn't feel, I'm not going to say offended, but some people.
I see where you're coming from.
As long as you can acknowledge, I think that was the point. Well, that's what was shocking me, anyways, from the comment section, is people that weren't even willing to acknowledge the fact that other people were or felt uncomfortable around it. Like they weren't willing to acknowledge it. It's like it's just a write-off.
Well,
they're not willing to hear.
Yeah, because it's a given. Not everyone is comfortable with nudity.
Right.
Some people are fine with it, and not everyone is comfortable with that. And we should be mindful of those people and be considerate to those people, I believe.
Again, it goes back to, I hear what you're saying, and like I said, it's all valid, but it's like, we live in a world where you can do whatever you want to do.
But does that mean we should do it?
Right? As long as you're not hurting anyone.
I would love to go rob a bank. I wouldn't hurt anybody. I just go take my money out and run. I'm not hurting nobody, but can I do it?
No.
Because it's illegal. It's not illegal to breastfeed. It's not illegal to be nude. But what I'm saying is, we live in a world where you can do whatever you want to do. You have choices. You have the option of looking, not looking. You have the option of, making a comment, not making a comment.
Yeah, that's true.
But in her,
also
that's
has the
fine.
option
But
of
in her
feeling
situation,
awkward,
in her situation,
No, like I said in the beginning, I said,
it depends on the circumstances.
and like I said, you're entitled to feel uncomfortable because not everybody's going to be comfortable with that. You could have another smaller
100%.
child that would see them and be like, oh my gosh, mommy, right? Like, you're not going to be comfortable with that. Some people are not, and that's not a problem.
And it's a little bit different in your case where you're actually in a mall. You're in a big. She was in her home, maybe a small space.
Yeah.
And she had to sit there, and
At that point, that's when I would have been like, on my phone and like, okay, wait till that's done.
So here's the thing. I know every situation is different, but halfway through my hair appointment, the baby started crying.
Of course.
The father was home, or whoever, her husband, I don't know. He proceeded to go into the fridge, take out what looked like pumped breast milk, put a nipple on it, and feed the baby. And I was sitting there like,
Why couldn't that have done in the beginning?
Okay.
Yeah.
So like I know every situation is different, but in this situation, I just didn't get it. Like how can you be that comfortable to open the door with your breast hanging out to a stranger? You don't know who the stranger is bringing into your house. Like
what if you have?
I don't know.
What if you gone see you've taken your husband
what if,
or whoever?
yeah, the boy was with me. You know?
He'd even encourage
He would have just reversed.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. She had to be mindful. There's nothing wrong with her feeding her baby.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Under the right circumstances.
Yeah, under the right circumstances, which in that circumstance I feel was not appropriate. I realized the baby has to eat.
Yes.
But I just felt like
I have 4 children as well, and I totally agree with you. So it has to be the right circumstances.
I see both sides. And like, I mean, you mentioned that she had a bottle in the fridge that the husband, boyfriend, whoever came and took out.
Yeah.
The baby might not, maybe she's on a schedule where she breastfeeds at a certain time or in the morning, and then later on in the day, bottle, supplements. You know, we don't know.
You just said a key thing, a certain time of the day. So if you know the schedule, you shouldn't have made your appointment.
I mean, she has the appointment. That's the point. That's the point. She has an appointment. This is a stranger. She could have brought anyone with her. She just opened the door with her stuff hanging out there.
Okay. I'm pretty sure her stuff weren't hanging out, but
her stuff hanging out there, and she doesn't know how that person might take it.
Yeah.
It's not like her friend and she know, that's all right. Well, I mean, this is a total stranger.
it's true. And then the beauty of the situation is that you now have the option of going somewhere else next time.
Oh yeah, definitely. 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's the same thing. Like, if you get bad customer service somewhere else, you have the option of going somewhere else the next time.
Yeah,
Right?
That's true. It was
Not to say
an
that,
experience.
not to say because that happened, she couldn't go back to her. You know, I
No, I'm
think
not saying that. I'm just saying, like, you know, we have options. Just like
Well,
you
yeah,
can
we
look
do
away,
have
just
options.
like you can look, just like you go somewhere else. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I still feel like
But-
baby needs to be fed. Baby needs to be fed.
Okay, so let's turn it around a little bit. How do you feel? Say that you had walked in and she had a towel around her. You feel a little bit better, wouldn't you not?
Good
Yes.
question.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily because she was feeding her baby. It's just the circumstances
You're right.
in which she was.
It wasn't the fact
yeah.
that she was feeding her baby.
Yeah.
It was just
That she didn't have a towel.
because
Yes.
she just
That she
was
was
not.
she was
Yeah.
exposed.
Yeah.
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 And we all have a right to a comfort level.
Oh yeah, for
Right.
sure, for sure.
Basically, what it boils down to. No one is debating should you feed your baby or
So
not.
that's fair then.
Yeah.
I think the
So just-
conversation is more of a professionalism
Yes.
issue than anything.
Especially,
I think so because
yeah.
of the fact that I was coming to a salon, whether it's a home salon or not. I was
Still
coming to a
professional.
salon,
Especially for the first time. You never met this person before.
Yeah.
So come on, people.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not the point of whether or not she had to breastfeed. It's the point that she didn't do it in a professional way, meeting the person for the first time in her job situation. She's gone to get her hair done. If she had come with a towel, yes, baby needs to feed, but put a towel over it. You never met this
because
person.
everybody's job situation
It's a
is
client.
different, so
Yes.
you have to base it,
Yeah.
on what the situation is. But
Absolutely.
like if you go into an office, if you depending on your job, whatever you do, if you have to go into an office, you wouldn't do that.
No, you wouldn't.
And I didn't burst into her house. Like I had to buzz up. She was on the 7th floor, so there was time,
Yeah, she could have done that. So she was not really thinking of your feelings in that respect. She was just thinking, okay, yes, I need to feed my baby, and who cares? She's just getting her hair done, but not debating whether or not she should have fed her baby. That's not the point.
Definitely not.
Because when we go to the mall, we gotta eat too.
Yeah.
We go down to the food
When
court.
I'm hungry, trust me, I want to eat right
When
now.
you're hungry,
Yeah.
I need some now. Yeah.